Yes, good morning. It's Joanna Parker from JP Writing Services. And most of you in the group, apart from our newbies, know me. I've had 30 odd years in the corporate sector doing corporate communications. That's my background. And I set up my writing business 4 years ago as JP Writing Services. But today, rather than just focusing on me, I thought what I'd do is share some of my top tips for copywriting. And these are really thinking about the biggest mistakes that I see people making. So I thought I'd just talk through some of these, and hopefully you can think about whether you do these things or ideas that can hopefully help you to improve your writing as well. So the first thing I would suggest we think about before we put pen to paper or fingers on a keyboard is the purpose of what we're actually writing about. And I think this is particularly important for social media. So often people think like, oh, I must get something out there today. And the impetus really is just kind of feeding social media. But before you actually commit, what is it that you're wanting to achieve with that piece of writing? So what do you want your readers to actually think or feel or do as a result of that piece when you put it out there? So think about, like I say, the purpose. So there's got to be a reason for writing it before you actually commit to paper. So the next thing is the audience themselves. So who is actually going to be reading your article, your piece, your website, your piece of text, your copywriting, and not just in terms of ideal client, but think of it more literally. So who are they today? Where are they? Are they on a mobile or are they reading it off a computer? Have they got a lot of time or are they really time poor and they're just kind of scrolling through really quickly? What is it that they're actually doing in their day? What is going to grab their interest? And it's really important to have all that information to know how you're going to write your piece. So most people in this day and age are going to be reading it on a mobile. They're going to be time poor for the most part. So of course, we're going to think of something that has to grab their attention really quickly, which is going to be important. But also when thinking about the audience, think about, well, how well do they know you right now? Are you talking to somebody who reads your posts, your articles a lot, so they already know you and they get to want to see more of you? So if it's like a weekly newsletter, for example, they might be used to reading things from you. And so they're invested in your company already. Or are they somebody who doesn't know you? They've never heard of you. And those two things are going to be very different in the way that you communicate with that target audience. So if people already know you, they're familiar with you, they know what you do, your services, then you're really just kind of taking them to that next step, that buying stage, edging ever closer to perhaps buying your products or services. Whereas, of course, if nobody's ever heard of you before, you're starting out right at the beginning and you're trying to build your brand, trying to build their awareness for your following. So you'll be looking at using very different kinds of language. And that's what we'll come and look at next. So think about one of the biggest mistakes I find when people are writing is that they focus on themselves rather than the audience. And this is particularly true if you think about like an about us page or the home page on a website. Often when you get to a website, the first thing that people say is, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, I can do the other. And it's not about you. It's about the person looking for the end result. So if somebody comes to your website, they've come with a problem or something that they want to achieve, and they want to have you describe to them the end result that they can have, the transformation that they can have, rather than just kind of knowing about you. So yes, I've got 30 years experience and I can help people with their copywriting, but that's not really what they've come to the website to find out. They want to know how they can leave feeling better, being able to do something different. Excuse me. So think about very much write it for your audience, not about yourself. So that's a key one. Then the next thing I would suggest is thinking about emotions. So how would you get emotional connection in your writing? really comes down to the kind of words that we choose. And there's lots of what we call power words out there. So these are words that create more of an emotion in the reader than the everyday words. So there's lots of different ways which we can use power words. And some of them are here. So curiosity is one of the ways that we can actually get people to pay attention to what we are writing about. And that's using words like little known, limited, insider, trade secret, behind the scenes, those kind of words that really encourage people to kind of step a bit closer, look a bit deeper into what you're offering. And some of these, there's that sort of age-old debate about, clickbait. Is it just words that are enticing people in to click on something and then you're not delivering? But the key is that you need to deliver whatever it is that you're promising. But there's nothing wrong with using these powerful words that entice curiosity. So it helps you stand out from the crowd. So if you've got a little known way of doing something, then that's a great thing to tell people. So the next one is convenience. So nowadays, everybody wants something straight away. We want a simple answer. So that's why we get popular words like cheat sheet, instant, effortless, fail-proof, template, fill in the blanks, a straightforward way of doing something. All these words that are like, I say, that they encourage you to think, oh, there's an easy shortcut, an easy hack, an easy way of doing something. And if you put those two things together, so I'm going to share with you the little known way of, creating sales instantly in my free cheat sheet, you can see that you're building up the sort of the come on, the excitement for the reader. So if you're making it ridiculously easy for somebody to do something, simple ways for them to get an express result in a few minutes, those are the words that are kind of making it enticing for the reader. So the other thing is confidence. So how do you portray yourself as the expert? So it can be talking about your expertise, but it's also about building trust. So things like according to, or expert, fully refundable, recognized, these kind of words. So it can be based on experience, it can be based on evidence, it can be the fact that you're making it simple and convenient for them. So if you've got a fully refundable, no questions asked guarantee, that makes it more, the person have more confidence in what you're asking. You're taking away any sort of risk from them. So all these words, like I say, make it easier for you to stand out and to make sure that your copy has a little bit more oomph, basically. So last couple of points that I would make are waffle. Now, most people who come to me for copywriting often say that their biggest problem is being concise. And that's something that I can help with. So majority of people are happy to have a go, but they waffle. They go on for writing for England, and they can't get a point across in a couple of words. And obviously, as we know now with social media, the fewer words that you can use, the better. So if you find yourself somebody who kind of takes 20 words to say something rather than 3, perhaps that's something that I can help you with. So certainly thinking about cutting down on being verbose, cutting down on those sentences, short words, short sentences, keeping it as simple as possible. And the last thing that I would say in terms of making an impression with your copywriting is make sure that it's polished. So doesn't mean to say it has to be perfect English, but just watch out for typos, spelling mistakes, little pieces of grammar that can make a difference, little simple words that people mix up, should have, not should of, things like that, there and there, different spellings, missing R's out of you rather than, writing the word you rather than your, little simple things like that people do that mistake all the time. So that's my whistle-stop tour into some top tips for helping you to improve your copywriting. Hope you found them useful. And of course, if there's anything else I can help you with, please have a one-to-one.